Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Command Your Confidence. I'm joined with a sophisticated man today. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, always a blast. I like we have some good ideas and content that we can bounce back and forth. So so I like that when I can talk with someone and then like you can just kind of bounce back and forth thoughts and everything, and then just kind of make the conversation flow, which is like really awesome.
Yeah, these have been fun, man. I'm happy to jump on these and do these with you.
Rock on. And today, so what we want to talk to you guys about is how to avoid nice guy talk, or just kind of break down a nice guy. We're going to play a clip from the movie Swingers, and we're going to kind of break down some of the traits that the nice guy traits that you want to avoid when you're talking to a woman. And so this is going to be really cool, and let's get rolling on this.
Let's do
I'm
it.
gonna add my screen. So this is the clip here from the movie Swingers, and we're gonna do play.
Who's on the Who's on the rocks? You can't make this guy anymore speak. You laughing at me? That's funny to you.
So what do you any things coming to mind right now? Like I'm seeing a few like nervous energy and everything, kind of like indirectness right away.
Definitely.
Small talk.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of gonna actually say too. Like he wasn't very direct when he went up there because clearly he went up next to her to try to start a conversation, but he kind of just like made the situation about, oh, I can't get a drink. Like, what's going on? You're making fun of me, and he kind of took the victim route a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. Like he seems very nervous right now, and I want to like make this a point. Like obviously this is scripted. Clearly it's a movie, so like this is going to be whatever
Mm-hmm.
the actors or the directors tell them to do. But it's also a very real thing that happens, and when you act that way, usually you don't get the best response.
Mm-hmm. Right, and like in when a guy normally approaches a girl, like she knows why he's there too,
Exactly. Yeah.
and he's right away. Like I said, the indirectness. Like I don't know, like if I were in that situation, like he didn't even like really introduce himself. It seemed
Uh
like
huh.
too. He just
Yep.
went up right away and made a joke, and kind of like pretending that this is. I think he's just trying to, even though this is scripted, he's just trying to just he's trying too hard, by
Yeah.
making a stupid comment and everything.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. It seems like he's very in his head with the approach that he did, and like if that were me, I'd probably be a little bit more direct and honestly probably like make a joke at the beginning because I would like
Hmm.
make an observation about her, like she's obviously eating her olives without taking a drink. I'd be like, hey, what's going on? Like, you know, is this a restaurant or are you here to get a drink or something funny like that? Like I would just kind of make fun of her. But he kind of just like doesn't really introduce himself or give her like some type of like, hey, I'm here to talk to you.
Hmm. Right, and you can already like look, looking at her, even though there's a scripted look, looking at her body language too, she doesn't
Hmm.
seem like very intrigued by him. So right away, and if
Right.
like I don't know, normally, just from my experiences approaching girls, I can kind of know when I can continue with the interaction. And she just like in the way that she's looking right now, she's just not, you
Hmm.
know, looking like she's into him.
Hmm. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Not a lot of engagement off jump.
Hmm. Okay. Anything else before we get moving with the clip?
I think that's it, man. Let's roll it.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's get it rolling. There's.
I'm sorry. I should. Let me make it up to you. Hang on, Nick. They know you're around here, huh? Hi. I'll have a dude on the rocks, please. And get some more olives for a little friend here. Do I know you? Where do I know you from? Um, you ever been to the Ha Ha Hole on Pico? No, you sure? Monday nights open like that. They host an open mic there. No. Oh, you're a comedian. Yeah. it's it's a dream. It's a lot of hard work and travel and get hotels. I'm a new booking agent though, so I'm part of the whole Vegas circuits.
Okay, so like I'm noticing from this part too, he's really not getting to know her, and he's kind of bragging about himself, trying to make himself look good to her rather than focusing on getting to know her.
Hmm. Yeah, 100%. And like one thing I noticed too was we're like maybe a minute or so into the clip, and he didn't even ask her her name. Like he has no idea who this girl is, and she has no idea who he is. So it's like it, he's so nervous that he didn't even say, "Hey, what's your name, by the way?" Like, my name's
Hmm.
so and so. He didn't even get to that point.
Hmm. Right. No, and that's true, man. Like, because I mean, and the girls, I know, I don't get why would you not want to ask someone their names. I mean, I
Yeah,
always ask for names, and maybe sometimes if I've had a long day, I will forget to ask their name.
sure.
I'm not going to lie about that. It happens. I
Hmm.
actually, it's funny. Did an approach yesterday, and I asked for the girl's name, like after I said, "Excuse me, I won't take much of your time." And I realized I should have done it like first.
Hmm.
But but yeah, we're a minute into the clip. You're right, and yeah, he still hasn't asked her name. No, and then like again, he's not really kind of getting to know much about her or being playful. Like he's just kind of like bragging, like he's trying to like be like, oh, I'm a guy of high status based off, because
Hmm.
I'm a comedian and everything, and that's
Right.
another bad nice guy habit right there.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, he feels like he needs to brag and show off about all his accomplishments to make himself feel like he's good enough to this girl, and that's why in that moment you saw there in the clip, he like takes a second, was so like there was an awkward silence, and he felt like he had to fill it with, okay, let me talk about my accomplishments, let me talk about myself, and you could tell by her face right there, like she doesn't seem very interested in the conversation, and I think a lot of that is because again he didn't even bother to ask her any questions, doesn't know her name yet, didn't really establish intent. Because like when you approach a girl, that's the first thing that's running through her mind is like, okay, who is this guy and why is he here? Because they want to know if they don't feel
Hmm.
safe around you, then they're probably going to look elsewhere and they're just going to like, okay, ignore you or walk away. And he didn't really establish either one of those.
Hmm. Yeah, I know, and when yeah, you made a good point too. Like he's kind of making by not being like honest with her, he's making her feel uncomfortable. It's like
Yeah,
he's a complete stranger,
yeah,
and like when you're out there approaching someone, you got to get their name, introduce yourself, and just state your intention. So that way she knows why they're, and plus you're not wasting your time. Like this guy's
exactly.
wasting his time, obviously.
Hmm. Yeah, it shows like a level of um, social awareness when you can't see that she's clearly not really into the conversation, and you haven't established any type of rapport before that. You don't have any touch points of, oh, I know her name, I know maybe where, what she's doing tonight or what she's here for, who she's with. He doesn't have anything really to kind of go off of, and it just seems like he's kind of rambling at this point.
Hmm. Now, do you see that like but that's a big problem with like guys who are inexperienced these days with talking to women. Like, weren't you there at one point too in your life too before you started having talking to girls?
For sure. I mean, I definitely was at a point where I didn't know how to start a conversation, and I didn't know how to get that rolling to like be a flirty vibe and get her somewhat interested and get her invested in the conversation. At first, I would try to carry it with a lot of my own like quips or like witty comments or like funny things that I thought would make the conversation interesting. And while those do help, I think the best thing is when you get her talking a little bit more than you're talking, clearly she's into the conversation. And at that point, you can throw in some jokes, your own humor, your own personality, but you want to get her invested from the jump. And the way to do that is like to ask what her name is, establish some rapport in the beginning, just kind of get her comfortable with your presence. And once you can do that, then she opens up a little bit, then the conversation kind of opens. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that like got me caught up for a while was feeling like I was asking, like I was being super logical, really, instead of being like emotional and like fun and like making it a fun interaction.
No, right. You know, and I was like that way too. Like, I think, there, I think I mentioned this to you before, but I'll never forget the time. Like, cause I always thought of girls like smart, intelligent guys. And when
Yeah,
when I was, this is back in my college years. And I remember one time I was at a nightclub, and this is when I was in the Detroit area, and it was like a goth nightclub, and there was this cute girl, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And then I kind of went into like talking about philosophy and stuff at a nightclub, and it
Yep.
didn't have any relevance to her. And then like that conversation ended really soon.
hmm Yeah, I mean, I think we've all been there at one point where it's kind of the wrong environment to talk about that kind of stuff. And again, it comes back to also being like socially aware. Like if you're at a nightclub, the music's loud, you can't really hear a lot of people. Maybe there's a big crowd of people. Probably not the best place to talk about philosophy or like just the theory of relativity or anything crazy like that. Which you can. I mean, I'm not saying you can't talk about that ever. But it just you just got to know where you're at, and kind of what the vibe is.
Hmm. Right. You know, like right now, I just kind of like if I'm out at a nightclub, I just kind of make an observation about what's going on in the
Right.
environment, or an observation about her, and make it like do it like a playful way. I mean, sometimes too, like I just kind of will keep it simple, you know, because I know the girl's out with her friend, and I'll go for a number. Like I remember like I was a couple of weeks ago, I was at a bar over in the college area and stuff, and I was waiting. I made an observation about the girl. I introduced myself, and you know, I was very direct in what I said, and you know, just asked her a few questions, and I'd be like, "Well, hey, I know you're out with your friends right now, so let's exchange numbers." And it was weird. So I got a number. Then there was another girl, so I'm like, "I'm gonna go for it again." So I got another number. I only heard back from one of those. You know, one of the girls reciprocated, you can make it short. You know, definitely make it playful. Like it does. You know, even at the when I out in the dance clubs and stuff too. You know, I see the girls there. You know, they're all dancing, and then like I just hey, what's up? I gotta I just kind of go in with the dance and play fun, and I'll joke around too about like oh, that was some great dry sex we just had. But yeah, make it fun. Don't overcomplicate it, because I think we overcomplicate things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. Guys, we're very logical thinkers, and we like to have a step-by-step process of, okay, what do I do as soon as I walk up to this girl? What are the things I need to say? What's the line? What's the technique? And the
Hmm.
reality is, like, if you're just in the moment, present with yourself and with the person you're talking to, you don't need to have all these canned lines and crazy things ready to go. Like, if you're just having fun with yourself and you just enjoy your environment and you're present, you walk up and pretty much say anything. But
Hmm.
you gotta come with a good energy and a good vibe.
Yeah, exactly. No, and that is important too. I remember like in our last show, we did something on how to be more social and everything with women and just people in general. And I remember we mentioned too, like, and we're all guilty of this, is that we judge the girl. Really, that's like our own, I guess, reflection of things, and that how that complicates, and I think that ruins the vibe.
hmm Yeah, because you make assumptions about this person that you never met. You think, oh well, she's too high maintenance for me, or she's she'd be bratty. I don't want to talk to her. Like, we come up with these reasons with really no basis in logic. We're like, well, I haven't even talked to her yet, so I don't know if any of those things are true. And they can get in the way, like you said, of talking to her and creating a connection, because maybe she is the coolest girl you could meet in the bar, or she's very cool and like you guys have a great vibe, but you have that thought up, it almost like creates a barrier between you and her before you even start talking.
Hmm. Right. No, that's true. And so you gotta like be aware of that, and then like tell yourself to shut the f up when you get in that
Right.
state of mind.
Hmm.
So let's continue with the clip right now.
Money's pretty good. Got my car. I think that, foreign car. Treat myself. I think I work for it. Why not?
I know where it is. Starbucks. I served you an espresso at Starbucks.
Espresso. Yes, that's my drink. That's probably it.
It's great. You came in and asked me for an application, and then I took you and introduced you to my manager.
Oh God, that when I watched this clip, I was laughing at that one.
Get the deer in the headlights.
So what do you notice here? Like, definitely lying for sure. She
Oh
called him
yeah.
out on that.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's just not being truthful, and you can kind of see it in his body language. He's getting very tense, like he's pinching his collar really tightly, and he's clearly uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And she's calling him out on how she knows him, and he instead of just being like, oh yeah, like I was in there, what I thought I wanted to work there, but then I changed my mind, like just playing it off to be cool. Um, he just creates some lie to make himself seem like, oh, that's not me, that wasn't me at all.
Right. Oh, and but she called him out on that.
Yeah.
I think guys, you know what though, and I think guys do kind of like BS like that. Maybe I don't know. Do you think like have you? I don't know. I can't recall a time in my life where I actually BS like that bad, but like to attract a girl because eventually like they're gonna find out you really are if they go out
Right.
with you, and they're gonna be disappointed.
Hmm. Yeah, totally. I mean, I've done like some really playful stuff before where, like, let's say like I was out of town and I was like at a beach or something, like out of state, and I saw some girl. I remember one time me and some friends like went up to these girls, and I was like, oh yeah, I live in Oregon. I played for the Oregon Ducks. I'm a football player. Just like made up some crazy dumb story, which is a complete lie. And in that situation, I was like, well, I'm never gonna see these girls again. Like, I don't really care if they know I'm being truthful or not. But more or less, I was playful about it, and like there was a part of me that you could probably tell, okay, I don't know if this guy's being serious or not, but we just kind of went with it. But that's kind of a different situation because like you're probably never going to see these girls again. If you're in like your hometown or a girl that you know from work or the gym or something like that, be honest. Like just be real about who you are and what you do, because like you said, if you lie about it, it's only a matter of time till she finds out, oh, this guy wasn't truthful, and that's going to lower her attraction for you even more.
No, right. And plus, though, like if you even like this is probably only like if you're in a small town, but maybe that you talk to one girl and she could tell her friend about you when you approached her friend.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah, it's a real thing. Girls talk, they talk, man. If it's a tight knit town, and there's a lot of if there's like groups of people that hang out together, yeah, the word will get around quickly.
Okay, let's go into the clip. Finish this off.
It's been a while ago because right now I have a booking agent.
Yeah, and look, I noticed how he's his body language right there. He's all nervous the way he's clenching because
Yeah,
he knew he got caught in a lie. And
and I usually work his way out of it.
yeah. What do you based off the way she's looking at him right now? What is your interpretation of that? She's like, I got you.
Yeah. She looks like, okay, this guy's full of shit, and she's like sizing him up right now, and she's not liking what she sees.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, the booking agent. Oh my God, he's part of that.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think it was about 2 weeks ago.
It's probably more, probably longer, because things have been going very well lately. So I haven't been looking for a job in a while. Like, people think somebody looks like me, because a lot of people look kind of similar, have a face that's similar. Don't, yeah. Take this. You're doing very well. Thank you. Thank you,
Nikki.
Nikki. Thank you.
He even forgot her name, or he didn't even ask for the name, right? And then she finally.
Yeah, that was the first time he even got her name. Was at the very end after all that.
Gosh.
It's bad.
But yeah, he was trying to work. I mean, he was digging a deeper hole for himself by he was trying to cover up that lie and not, just like saying, "Okay, he got me,"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's a way to get out of that. You could have just be honest and say, "Oh, nothing getting past you. You got me. You sized me up," and just like own it honestly. And like honestly, I feel like at that point she would at least like you guys could laugh it off and like maybe change the subject. But he keeps going on with it. He's like, "No, things are going really well right now. I actually haven't been looking for a job. I'm great," and just keeps going on about this like boasting his accomplishments, coming back to that again. So yeah, a lot of it's from just him not being secure with himself and feeling unconfident.
Right. Yeah, and she when she called him out on that, like he just like that made him feel even more or less confident in himself and less certain
Yep.
that he was going to be able to pick her, pick her up, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Like he was visibly rattled, and she was picking up on that.
Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, this is how you don't approach girls, guys. Like, no, you're doing it the wrong way by doing it. So you gotta be honest. Be direct. And I don't know, like he didn't really. It seemed like the entire time, like I noticed, he didn't really get to know anything about her.
Right. Yeah, and that's key because if you don't establish some type of rapport early, then this girl's gonna be like, okay, he doesn't really care about what I'm saying. He's just focused on himself. And that's a very sticky situation to get out of, as you've seen. Like he was trying to cover up for a lie. He was like boasting about his accomplishments, talking about himself. And he didn't ask her one question about herself. He didn't say, "Hey, what brings you here? Who you with? What's your name?" He didn't get her name till the very, very end. So she probably feels like this guy doesn't give a damn about what I say. He's just here to boast. So you gotta ask some type of questions. You gotta get to know her a little bit more.
Right, and I mean, I will give credit though. That was a short interaction, but I would have, if I did got the vibe that she wasn't interested, I would have cut it even shorter. Like like she called me out on my shit. I'm like, it got me. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Goodbye. I would have, because you're already making yourself look bad when you're lying right away, and someone calls you out on that. And like a woman can tell when you're bullshit. Like even if when you're saying shit, because they have to read those like nonverbal cues and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally. And women are very, very good at that because they can observe body language and they understand your vibe just by looking at you and feeling your energy. If you're telling a lie, usually you can't hide that through unless you're like a psychopath and you're really good at hiding that stuff. The average person is going to be fidgeting or like he was clenching his like collar up top. You're going to be nervous because you know that what you're saying isn't truthful, and it's just not a way to get a girl's attraction level up for you, because if you're caught in that lie and she knows and you keep lying, she's gonna be like, okay, I don't trust this guy, and you're pretty much dead in the water from there.
No, yeah, that's true, and I mean that shows a lot about your character too, and how if you're gonna lie and she knows you're lying, how is she gonna be able to build trust with you and feel comfortable with you to like want to have a casual thing or whatever, a date or whatever your end game might be, and you got to be, like a lot of those, like you got to be upfront and just get to know her. Like a lot of, it's weird because like when I first wanted to learn how to get good to talk to women, I was learning like pickup lines from like game and RSD stuff. I had like a whole book of like routines and stuff you can do at bars. But
Yep.
but when I do that stuff, I wouldn't know how to transition interaction from there.
Hmm. Yeah, because one thing that pickup lines and all these scripted things, what they don't give you is that social awareness. Because when you're actually in an interaction and you're talking with somebody, a girl, whoever, they're going to say some things that you don't expect to be said. And then it's like, how do you react from that if you're reading off a script or looking at something that a YouTuber did and saying, oh, how do I replicate that? Something's going to happen in real time that you're not ready for. And if you're just present with yourself and you're just being authentic, you're being real, and you're just being confident in the way you carry yourself, you'll know how to respond in that moment. But
Mhm.
if you're reading off a script or something, you're going to look stupid.
Right. No, that's true. Yeah, I just, plus, like, when you're reading off a script, you're not being you. Like,
Yeah.
you're not being authentic and real. Like, I
Right.
mean, I think it's okay to, like, use the help you get started, but eventually you gotta, like, I think the more comfortable you get with socializing and talking to women, the more you kind of are comfortable, you develop your own style and way of communicating with them when you meet them.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the the biggest thing that pickup lines and all that stuff gives you is just like it just gives you a level of certainty when you like before you make an approach. Because you're like, okay, I know what I'm gonna say. It's this line, whatever, and then you go do it. That's really the only thing that it gives you is that level of comfortability, just maybe a minor piece of it.
Hmm.
So if you have that energy, though, if you have that confidence in whatever you say, it's going to go over well. It's kind of the same effect, and it's going to carry you that much further. Like you said, being authentic and just saying truly whatever it is on your mind.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, if you believe in what you're saying, then the other person will too.
Hmm. No, that's right. And, again, like, even if, like, the interaction, say that you didn't go well, I mean, at least you put yourself out there. I think, I don't know, I was always like this at first, but I felt like I had to try hard to get a good result out of the interaction as well. And, in the end, when it didn't work out, you kind of get disappointed.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it comes from just not feeling like, um, not getting the results that you want, like you said, and having to maybe work a little harder to try to get the outcome that you want. But
Hmm.
every time that I've done something like that too, it always kind of ends up being um, counterproductive because you're trying extra hard or you're trying to create something out of nothing when sometimes it just doesn't go anywhere, and that's just life. And you have to kind of take your lumps and move on from that, and find people that are willing to talk to you and give you a good energy, give you the time of day. Um, because again, like we said in the previous live stream, like not everybody's going to be open to talking to you or just having a good interaction, and that's okay. You have to be willing to walk away from those people.
Hmm. Right. No, I'm looking for actually a good example of how to confidently approach a girl. When I
Mhm.
worked with one of my mentors, he showed me this clip. You ever seen the movie Vicky and Christina Barcelona? The clip, the restaurant scene from that.
I don't think I saw that. No.
Okay, I'm gonna hopefully. I think I found it. I'm gonna hopefully this is it because this is like a very like he told me like this is how you should approach women.
Hmm.
Like, well, this is just even though it's scripted,
Yeah.
it's like a just a mindset thing. Wait,
Hmm.
yes, yes, I got it. Awesome.
Nice.
Yes. Okay, cool. Let's play it.
Well, it's just nice to be able to not have to worry about if some place is going to stay open. Or... Yeah, but we probably should be worrying about our dreams. Who are you looking at? Isn't that the painter that we just saw at the gallery? Oh yeah, right. The painter with the bad divorce. Mark told us that was happening. He's over here. Well, that's because you keep provoking contact. I'm not provoking contact. Why you've been throwing little looks at him all night? I'm just drinking my wine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course you are. You must be doing something because he's coming over.
So right away, look at his body language, the way he's walking over there compared to the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like polar opposite. I mean, he's super confident. You can tell and he was maintaining eye contact from the beginning. Like her friend was saying, like, he keeps looking at you, and she's like, "Really? Like, I don't know. I'm just drinking my wine, like trying to play it off." But he was keeping and holding eye contact, and that's a great way to like get her attention before you even walk over and say anything. You want to know that like she's somewhat interested. That gives you an in.
Mm-hmm. Right, and I look at the vibe. It's just comfortable
Yeah.
too. Like even though like they were both as they were as earlier seen like they were both kind of flirting. I mean, he's over there all confident, ready to go talk to this girl.
Mm-hmm. I think also a good thing on his part was she was observing him in a really ideal situation. Like he was at a table talking to other people. There was a few girls at his table too. So that makes him look good because she's like, okay, this is a social guy. He's confident. He's talking to people. There's some girls at the table that are talking to him as well. Only going to make him look better in her eyes.
Right, that's true. Let's get rolling with it.
American?
I'm Christina, and this is my friend Vicki.
See, right away they got the names right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't waste any time. He went
Yeah,
right.
yes. And look at this, now that you can tell she's interested too, the blonde. I think it's Christina, right?
Yeah, I think so. And like you could see it at both of their body language. I mean, more so the blonde, but their attention is towards him. And in the last clip, you saw she was kind of like hunched over, like kind of like head in her glass, not really turned towards the guy. This particular clip is the complete opposite. They're fully engaged with him, and it's like he has their attention, and that's what you want.
Yes, exactly. That's true.
What color are your eyes?
They're blue.
I'd like to invite you both to come with me to Oviedo.
To come where?
To Oviedo. For the weekend. We leave in 1 hour.
What? Where's Oviedo?
A very short flight.
By plane. What's in Oviedo?
I go to see a sculpture that is very inspiring to me. Very beautiful sculpture. You love it.
Oh, right. You're asking us to fly to Oviedo and back.
No, we'll spend the weekend. I mean, I'll show you around the city. And we'll eat well. We'll drink good wine. We'll make love.
Yeah.
Okay, he's very direct right there. He's being clear with his intentions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's being very forward, and I think when in doubt, like as long as you show your intent, it just depends on how they react to it. Obviously, the friend is a little skeptical because she's like, "Wait a minute, I don't know this guy. Spend the weekend with a total stranger." But obviously, her friend is like, "Yeah, like I'm down. Like I'm interested to see where this goes." But he's not being creepy about it either. He's not saying you guys need to come here, otherwise, I'm gonna be freaking out. Like he's just saying, "Hey, come down. It'd be a fun time. You guys will love it. Like come on, come join me." And
yeah,
he's
right.
he's not really like forcing it.
And he's not reacting to, he's just confident in his, like he believes in himself so much that he's confident in what he's going to say to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Who exactly is going to make love?
Hopefully, that's very fast. I'll get your opinion.
Jesus, this guy, he doesn't beat around the bush. Look, senor, maybe in a different life.
Why not? Life is short. Life is dull. Life is full of pain. And this is a chance for something special.
Right. Well, who exactly are you?
I am Juan Antonio. And you are Vicky. And you are Christina, right?
Okay, so right there, you can see the friend is very standoffish, and he's not reacting to her, emotions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Like she's not knocking him off his center at all. I mean, he's very clear with what he wants, and he walked over there, regardless of what they would say, and just went for it. And I think that's the biggest difference between that clip and the previous one was he's very certain with what he wants, and he's not willing to just kind of like sway off his purpose for whatever the girl's like, how they're reacting. If she's being emotional or like being skeptical, he's still strong in what he wants. And he's not forcing it, but he's very persistent because he clearly sees that the friend is interested in the one that he's into is into him. But he's trying to get the other friend to kind of convince her to like come along with him. But yeah, I mean, he's very centered in his whole thing.
Yeah, I know. That's funny. He was so direct about the threesome too. But yeah, he likes who he, and guys, we're saying it's you don't have to approach a girl like this, but we're saying this is a good example of how to be forward with the girl, find your own way to do it, and this is how eventually the more you're forward with a girl like this, the more comfortable you're going to become like this. It's going to be nervous at first, but like you said too. But like he's straight to the point, because life is short, so
he's clearly owning who he is, and that's the kind of guy that he is, and he's not afraid to show it. Like he's open to flying random girls out on the weekend and having threesomes. That's just the kind of guy he is, and he's not afraid to put it out there.
Yeah, no, that's true, and that's why what we have to do too is not be afraid to just put our intentions out there and not worry about the result. And I think a lot of guys are afraid to put their intentions out there because they're worried about the result.
Right. Yeah.
Or worried they're going to be creepy.
Outcome independent.
Let's just finish it up here.
Yeah, but it could be the other way around because frankly it doesn't matter because either of us will do to keep the bed warm. I get it.
Well, you're both so lovely and beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, but we do not fly off to make love with whoever invites us to charming little Spanish towns.
Does she always analyze every inspiration until each grain of charm is squeezed out of it?
I guess I have to say that my eyes are green, actually. Oh God! Look, I wouldn't call our reluctance to leap at your sexual offer being over analytical. If you would care to join us for some recognized form of social interaction like a drink, then we'd be fine. But otherwise, I think you should try, offering to some other table.
What offended you about the offer? Surely not that I find you both beautiful and desirable.
Offended me? No, it's very amusing, galling to be honest. But is it my imagination or is it getting a little late? Should we go? Go to Oviedo. What are you kidding? Can we discuss? It would be so much fun. I think we should go. I would love to go. Christina, can we discuss this some other time?
When I saw you across the room at the art gallery, I noticed you have beautiful lips, very full, very sensual. Okay, look, if you want to go. I can't guarantee the love making because I happen to be very moody. Let's not negotiate like a contract. I came over here with no subterfuge and presented my best offer. Now I thought we would discuss it and give me the pleasure to take you with me to Oviedo. I have the good fortune to work on my friend's plane. It's just big enough for the three of us, and a very good pilot. Oh, it sounds very safe. Think it over.
Okay, so how?
Yeah, he went for it. I mean, he put his offer out there. He didn't retract it. He didn't feel timid in saying it. He was fully intending to get his offer out there, even though the friend was really, really testing him and giving him a lot of pushback. The blonde who he was interested in was clearly interested in the offer, so he kind of he gave her a little bit more attention because he likes her more and she clearly likes him. So he kind of used her as a way to get it out there. He even teased the friend with her. He was like, "Is she always like this? She always analyze every situation, and if you get the friend on your side, eventually she'll probably convince her, like, hey, why don't we just go? Why don't we just have a good time with this guy?"
Yeah.
So I think I love the way that he did that. He kind of just was again super confident and did not care whether they agreed or disagreed, and he didn't force it. Like you saw when he left, he says, "Well, the offer's out there. If you ladies want to come join me, I'll be over here. Let me know what you think." And then he walked away, and that I think is the most powerful position to be in because
Mhm.
you put it out there. You see that you're not really getting anywhere just being there any longer. You say, "Okay, I'll just put it out there. Let me know what you think. I'll be at my table."
Mm-hmm. Right. No, and like even that, I noticed at the end of that scene too. Like she says, "I can't guarantee the love making." That was just,
Uh-huh.
she's gonna make love to him. That was just a shit
Right.
test right there.
Yeah, she was testing them too because girls don't want to seem like they're that easy or like they can just go home with any random guy that asks them out like that. Want to make it a little bit challenging, and again, that didn't shake him either. He says, "Hey, it's not a negotiate or it's not a contract. We could just go and see what happens and have some fun." So
Mm-hmm.
I think he passed all their tests with flying colors, and he walked away in a really good position.
Right. No, most definitely. Now, let me. I know this is scripted though, but is this how ideally how every guy should learn how to go approach a woman the way he did it? Because I hear like I don't know. I heard sometimes directness doesn't work anymore. Like then I hear like you got to run game on the girls too. Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I've heard both myself. I think in the pickup community, the direct approach is kind of somewhat getting phased out. Um, I don't know why. I mean, I think personally, I think being direct is you really can't go wrong if you say it the right way. If you're confident enough and you have a good vibe and you believe in yourself, I don't see that as being a bad thing. So I love the way the guy approached. I thought he was very confident and he didn't sway from his purpose, which was I'm going to go ask these chicks for a threesome, and didn't really care whether they were into it or not. He kind of just put the offer out there. Clearly, one of them was. So he just felt like he knew what he was doing and he knew what he wanted. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a good way to do an indirect approach. There's a good way and a bad way, I think. But
Mm-hmm.
for me personally, like I think men are just better off being direct from the jump because if you're indirect and let's say you're talking and you're going into conversation, like she might lose interest or she might not even really know why you're there in the first place. So I would rather be talking to a girl that knows she's either 100% into me or not from the jump than waste like 15, 20 minutes of my time when I could be talking to somebody else who is into me by being
Mm-hmm.
indirect. So I like I like the direct approach.
Mm-hmm. I know, like I tell you, like well, I'm currently doing some mentoring with Steve Dean Williams, and like when I did one of my approaches with him, and like he's, but I go in there and be direct, and then I'd have a conversation for a bit,
Sure.
and then I would eventually go to the number. That would be like 3 to 4 minutes, and so it kind of had me switch it around to where it's just hey, keep it short and simple, like go up to the girl, say, "Excuse me, I know you're busy working on this," introduce yourself, and then give her your reason why you're here. Just tell her that that I'm here because you're attractive and I'd like to take you out for a drink. And so so that's how I'm doing it right now. And some people say that call me very. They like how daring it is. Like I've
Yeah.
done some comedy for some girls. Like I admire your confidence, and um, and then I give out a card. So I mean it saves the time because if they want to call back, they'll respond to me.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I mean, kind of like the clip that we saw in the clip, the guy just put his offer out there and then he walked away. And if they want to follow up with him, they will. And if not, then he goes about his life and kind of just keeps living and does what he does. So I like the
Mhm.
direct approach because, like you said, it just kind of cuts through some BS. It's like, hey, I'm here because I like you. Wanted to see if you were cool. You want to hang out? Let's do it. If not, that's fine too. I'm going to keep living my life. So I personally like the direct approach. I've always kind of done it that way.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just think the direct approach is better.
Right. I should like do like a study of this. I should go 1 week
Yeah.
where I kind of do direct, keep it short, like I've been doing, or kind of do direct, have like a little conversation, get to know the girl to see what would be the better route. And I should
Mhm.
just like assess that. So that'd be great for some content ideas.
Yeah, that'd be great for a video idea, like getting you on camera and like doing both, like doing a direct approach, doing an indirect, see which one has better
Hmm.
results. That'd be sweet. Because I've seen like some YouTubers and a couple other coaches. The reason they say go indirect first is because you want to check the vibe out and see if she is into you in that way. Like check if she's like into the conversation, like playing with her hair, like giving you indicators of interest, and then you show your intent. And I said, well, you can kind of do that from the jump if you're just direct anyway, and then you already know like if she's giving you those signs. So I don't know which one's better, but I don't know. I think going direct is personally, in my opinion, better.
Right. No, I hear you. I do too. I mean, I sometimes, well, you can be direct and have a conversation. I don't know. Like, I still think like you've still got to build, through conversation, at least you can build a little rapport and comfort with the girl too when you're direct instead of like just keeping it short like I've been doing. That's
Right.
why I think I'm going to do this as an analysis. Like next week, I'm just going to like this record. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to probably record my approaches, but I probably just would have to do it before I go in and do it because like there's like laws out there for that. Plus,
Yeah.
I think like I don't want people to think it's like all staged and shit because you know how a lot of people when they see those pickups online and YouTube like they're all staged and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be really cool content. I'd be. I mean, I would watch a video like that. So I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, that's a good assessment. I'm going to try this and see what gets the better result. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've gotten some. I don't know. I've gotten a couple dates doing observation openers too, and and then I've gotten. I think one I remember like right before, yeah, probably like a couple of years, maybe a year or two ago. Like I did a direct approach or something at a bar, and just had the conversation, and I got the number. So I just take the time, get to ask talk to the girls, just get to know them a little bit, then walk away. So, and but lately I've been going the other route with it. But yeah, I'm gonna do that test. I'm gonna give you the results of this next time I talk to you.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how that goes. And I think what's important too, in what you said, like you do want to build rapport regardless if you go direct or indirect. I think that the biggest difference is like if you're going indirect, obviously I think the rapport comes first. But if you're going direct,
Mhm.
you're showing intent, and then maybe you build some rapport. But it is important to build it because if you're, like you said, if you're just being direct, it's like, hey, I think you're cute. All right, that's it. Like you want to have a conversation. Like you want to get to know her. You want to talk a little bit because, again, you want to make her feel comfortable talking to you and make her feel safe in your presence. You want to know you're just a normal human being that can hold a conversation.
Right. That's true. Definitely. Well, any final thoughts here before we wrap up, or do you think you got everything?
Final thoughts. I mean, when in doubt, just be authentic. Like, just be real with who you are and what you want. And if people like it, they will. If people don't like it, then you move on to others that will like it. So
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, don't be afraid to just be yourself and say what you really want, say what you really feel, because you never know. You might meet the girl of your dreams who likes exactly what you have to offer, and then you're golden. So like, don't be afraid to just kind of put yourself out there.
Right. No, and yeah, and I agree with that. Just like, You know, I found that being direct and authentic is probably the best way because that's going to give the girl a little sample of who you are, and it shows her that you're not, you know, being someone you're not just to impress her.
Right. Yeah, you're right, and it separates yourself too, because odds are, if she's a good-looking girl, how many guys, you know, have hit on her probably that night? I mean, she probably gets a million people approaching her. So if you're just being like a real person and being authentic, that gives you a little edge, because she's like, wow, this guy's a genuine person. He's different. He's not like these other guys. He has a personality. He has,
Yeah, correct.
he has things about him that you can't replicate. So it always pays to be authentic. It's worth it.
Right. No, I agree with you on that. Okay, and where can people find you?
Yeah, if you want to find my Instagram, it's just my name, Tino Rigano. So Tino_RIGANO. Search that on Instagram. And if you want to find my YouTube channel, it's just called The Sophisticated Man. You can find it, search it up on YouTube. And my website is thesophisticatedman.net if you want to check that out.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on, guys. And be sure, everyone, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. We're going to be releasing some more killer content that's going to help you guys like level up in life. So definitely want to, if you want to keep posted, subscribe and hit that bell for notification. And then I'm almost done with my book too. So I'm going to be like getting that in ebook format very soon. So I will put some information on later on about that. So
Nice.
thank you very much for coming on, and I'll talk to you soon, buddy.